Hey guys, welcome back. BDC Gare here. We're back with another online multiplayer video, and today we'll be showing off a kind of new Red Sun team, I guess. It's not the traditional original pack set, but we'll be showing these guys off in online play.
And for all the people that are asking about advice about how to put together an empty team, we're going to talk a lot about our strategy for picking these particular characters and why we geared them out the way we have.
Yeah.
All right, so the first thing you'll probably notice is that it's not the traditional Red Sun team. We've kept Wonder Woman, but instead of Superman, Solomon Grundy, we've swapped out Batman and Green Lantern for a couple reasons. The Batman mainly because he's got the chance at unblocked special ones.
Yeah.
And he's going to be your main damage dealer, you saw. All right, so actually, let's watch this fight. So he's not bad. 10,000 a hit. So what he's got is basic damage boosts because they're all crit chance and crit damage augmented, but no damage or health. Their stats match up pretty well, so the matchmaker doesn't give us particularly difficult once it's done. All right, so this is why, if you're paying attention, we geared her to be Wonder Woman to be sort of like Batgirl, with the Cloak of Destiny, League of Assassins Knives for the splash damage. Plus, I believe it was like sort of gauntlets to increase the chance of crit on special one.
But that Batman, the damage is insane, huh?
Yes, seriously, for like an Elite 7 guy, and you look, their stats are relatively low compared to the, when we're looking at people who are Elite 10 and up to level 60, and they're not quite at maximum. 4,500 battle points is not 5,000 is the maximum, right? So 4,500 is 90%. Still pretty darn good.
But that was buttery.
Yeah, I mean, the first match is almost always easy. So, all right, so this is matched up against level 50, Elite 7. Their stats are comparable. So this is maybe closer to fair fight. But, I mean, really, when you're talking about the AI, it's not the first 3 fights that are tough. It's maybe 4th, 5th, and definitely the championship rounds of 6 and 7.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Green Lantern is going to be our tank or damage sponge or just the guy who can stall a little bit. So he's got full 4th world gear. And it's sort of arbitrary. You could pick, out of the team, you could pick who you want to do what. But I think Batman's the best for a basic damage dealer because he's good at juggling. Green Lantern is actually good as a staller because he's also good at juggling too. I mean, even though he doesn't do a lot of damage, he's useful because just even doing unblocked combos buys you time. And because they're unblocky stuns, and there we go. And so she comes in to take advantage of it. So that's the disadvantage when you don't have Batgirl, who has a stun built into her special. You need to rely on somebody to do it. So this is one of those teams where everybody actually matters. And if somebody gets knocked out, we're kind of screwed. And the good thing is...
no time to swap out here because it hadn't refreshed yet. Too bad.
His special one, what's cool is that we built him to heal a little bit, so even if you're playing against somebody who's got a chance of evading a special, it's still worth doing it as quickly as you can, and you take that chance. Oh, still got it. So we've got 2. There
we go.
He didn't have cellular regen. We still had the second one to go for it. Not a bad team. The biggest factor, I think... Alright, so one of the theories that I liked to use when I'm putting together a team is to make sure that there's at least one person that can handle specific problems. Like Raven. So we've got 2 guys with high damage special ones. Oh, and here's the other point. The reason why you don't give the Cloak of Destiny loadout to Batman is because you're using up... Not only are you using up a... let's see, any problems? Not particularly.
Superman.
Okay, so not particularly interesting.
There we go.
What you don't want to do is you have to use up a bar of power to use a special one, so he's got less to take advantage of the Cloak of Destiny stun boost. But his special one also doesn't do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
So it's almost a waste. You almost
need to build up to a special 3 to really get the full effect.
Yeah, so it's not really worth it.
Begin.
But it is one of those things, I mean, you still have to be a little bit careful because we are facing relatively strong teams. Even if they're 50 Elite 7, they are, because they're the newer characters, they have much higher stats, right?
Yeah.
Gotta be careful. Alright, so this is, I haven't gotten the rhythm. Uh-oh. Stun, please. Perfect.
There we go. Yeah, to here.
You're done.
Alright, so we've taken off his shield, bringing somebody else to take advantage of that.
There we go.
Perfect. Alright,
That was pretty smooth.
that's teamwork.
Mhm.
Alright, so the reason, well, I guess you could substitute one of Superman or Solomon Grundy or Deathstroke, but the reasons why I don't like Solomon Grundy, health boost is nice, it just changes the matchmaking enough too, so there's not a huge advantage to it. And that just draws out the fight a little bit, right, when you've got more health.
Yeah.
I'm not... Deathstroke, his
Batman.
rhythm when he's faster, okay, so that's not dangerous.
Raven.
She's interesting because we got to make sure we don't have a lot of power, just use up our power as soon as we can. And so he's going to be the fourth world, he's going to be their tank. Okay, so what was I saying? I can't even remember now.
Talking about Deathstroke.
Oh, so
Red Sun,
there's something
yeah.
about the rhythm of him that I don't like, that it's harder to juggle with him than with Arkham Origins Deathstroke. So maybe it's because he's too fast. Superman's not a bad choice for the extra damage, but it's hard to figure out of these three who to get rid of.
Begin.
Because they all... Alright, so Green Lantern, you really need to avoid any kind of stun.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be worried about, say, Lucha Urbane with the same Cloak of Destiny loadout coming in and totally destroying her team. Oh, perfect. Okay, so she's in. She's not going to do much damage. Nice.
There we go. That splash damage and damage is just insane.
Alright, so he's going to come in. His passive is going to engage. Alright. It's interesting. It's hard to tell how often he gets it, because I've seen fights where he gets more than two. And Batman really is for his stun. You almost have to have him to take advantage of the stun chance that you want with Wonder Woman. Ouch. Alright, so that was a lot of Flash, Sound and Fury signifying nothing. A lot of show, not a lot of damage taken.
Yeah.
That was alright. Boom. Oh. Uh-oh.
That's the
Here
third
comes.
time it triggered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what that emblem means.
Face it. You're done.
So, and the reason why, I guess you could pick either. Batman's probably the best for the just basic damage, because then he builds up the bar of power quick. I guess Green Lantern or Wonder Woman, both could be, either one could be the tank. But I prefer Green Lantern because I have trouble getting into rhythm with Wonder Woman's swipe combo.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I think that's one thing that we talk about a decent amount when forming a multiplayer team, but doesn't seem to get that much attention, is that it really, what matters almost the most, right,
Lantern.
is once you've built a good team, it really just needs to be how well you can actually play the characters that are in your team.
Right, and
Because that informs your character choice, that
Yep.
informs the way that you gear them, right, like which specials you take advantage of.
right.
If you're good at everybody or most people or most specials, then it becomes less and less of a problem.
Right.
But that is really one of your actual largest factors, because
Sure.
if there's a character that you just can't play who's really good, that you just can't juggle with them, their rhythm's really weird, you just
Yeah.
don't play them.
Begin.
Now, we haven't seen much of Raven Prime, but that's one of the other people that we have to watch out for. So we've got to have at least one person with a good special one. In this case, both Wonder Woman and Red Sun Green Lantern both have a good special one. Nice.
Perfect. Oh,
Oh,
crap.
ooh.
Not quite. It was mistimed. Oh well.
Yeah.
Well, people are still pretty well. There we go. The splash damage was
Ooh,
still good. The
somebody
damage
jumped out
was
of
still
the
good.
And there's only one person left.
Yeah.
What are those two symbols? Like, I'm trying to remember what of her passive actually matters. Oh, is that
Swapping.
Power Gen?
Yeah, I don't know. Like swap in power gen.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
it doesn't only trigger twice.
Yeah, I can do as many times as she comes in and out. So, I mean, one of the other questions is, people are saying that with Breakthrough, they're facing so many really powerful teams. I guess you can see here that they're not necessarily overpowered, but definitely the Green Lantern's nullification of crit damage makes a huge difference.
Oh, for sure.
There's if it weren't for that, I think there's a lot of fights where we would have taken a lot more damage.
Maybe even lost.
Yeah.
Bane.
Oh, there we go. All Elite 10.
Win.
No, that guy's elite.
Oh, Elite, right,
8?
Elite 8. Yep, 2
Yeah.
Elite 10s and an Elite 8.
There we go. I say guy, I mean person, obviously.
Yeah, interesting. All right, so interesting loadout. None of them look like they're particular trouble. Yeah, there's definitely some of the traditional, not the newer, overpowered power creep kind of characters, but the traditional characters, especially the Red Suns, that can make up a really good team.
hmm I really think team synergy is something that should be looked at a little bit more in Injustice.
Especially if you're lower stat, right?
Yeah. And I mean like purposeful team synergy where they actually build like groups that are meant to be used together.
Oh, like Red Sun.
Yeah, because it's really interesting.
Right.
Because I think that's one of the things. Mortal Kombat didn't do that many things that I liked better than Injustice. But having everybody be part of a faction and having some kind of faction-specific stuff, I thought that was really interesting. And I really liked that, right? Because it gave everybody a bit more character, right? Like the Wonder Woman giving buffs, right?
Right.
To female characters. That's really interesting.
I did like that.
I
600, yeah. Wonder Woman 600.
Yeah, 600. The name was escaping me, yeah. But it doesn't. They don't all have to be like that, and they don't even all have to necessarily fall into groups. But like, it would be cool if there was something that just like worked on all Batman universe characters or something like that, right? Like you don't actually necessarily have to change what you already have, but just adding new stuff that has kind of interesting synergy potential that isn't just what we found, right, in playing it, but is something that the developers like specifically obviously intended.
Okay, this is funny. We saw some Elite 10 characters last time, and now they're all back to no higher than 50 and Elite 7. Because they're the new characters and they're higher
Deadshot's level
stats.
49.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So Raven might be an interesting problem. But like I was saying earlier, we've got 2 people to handle her, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, not in this case, but let's say you have Raven with 4th World gear. If you trigger her resurrection, you want to make sure you're ready to take her out again and not have to trigger her passive.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with you about that kind of stuff. It would be really cool to... I mean, there's certain groups that would be obvious candidates, like the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah, Green Lantern Corps, Batman universe, Superman universe, right?
Yeah.
You could do that kind of stuff. You could do... There's already a girl one. You could do a guy booster, but that would just be, I guess, most people at this point.
Alright, so you see that was a perfect example of juggling. It's done perfect. Alright, so now... Oh, ouch. That was a problem. Should have tagged in Wonder Woman right there. Not too late.
And you know, the Dark Side giving a boost to bronze characters is interesting. But what I think might create some really interesting gameplay potential is like a bronze or silver character that would give a boost to gold characters only. Where you could buff people past their kind of natural limits.
That
to
would
the
be cool.
to the point where you could have some really overpowered gold characters, but your trade-off would be getting kind of a wimpy guy on your team. Where I think that would actually create a lot more interesting play space than having a gold character that has to be still kind of carrying 2 bronzes, right?
It would also depend on how the matchmaking took care of that.
That's true.
Yeah, no, that would be kind of cool. I would like to see that. And that's it. That was relatively smooth. Pretty problem-free.
Yeah. There we go. So, that was the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Komoda.